Hi, in this video we are going to talk about cell membrane transport. So a cell membrane is a selectively permeable membrane that allows some molecules to pass through while prevents others. It requires some mechanism to regulate the movement of molecules between cell and its environment. So there are two ways to transport molecules across the membrane. There is active transport that requires energy in form of ATP to transport molecules across the membrane. And then we have passive transport that does not require ATP to transport molecules across the membrane. So each of the transport has different mechanisms to move various molecules across the membrane. And we're going to look into different mechanisms in detail. Let's start off with passive transport. So passive transport can be carried out by diffusion. So diffusion is the movement of molecule from the area of high concentration to the area of low concentration. And the fifth law of diffusion says that the rate of diffusion depends on the surface area, concentration gradient, and membrane permeability. So what it means is that if the surface area of our cell membrane is going to be larger, the rate of diffusion will increase. If the concentration gradient across the membrane is greater, then our diffusion is going to be faster. And if a molecule is more permeable to membrane, then the rate of diffusion will increase. So what is a membrane permeability? So a molecule that is lipid soluble and is smaller in size is permeable to membrane. So small uncharged molecules like oxygen, carbon dioxide, and ammonia, these can diffuse across the membrane freely. However, there are molecules that are lipophobic and electrically charged and important to be transported across the cell membrane. For those kind of molecules, we have transport proteins. Transport proteins are divided into two groups. So there is channel protein and carrier protein. So a channel protein, we have open channel and gated channel. So open channel are also known as leaky channel. They're always open. So a selected molecule can enter and exit the cell anytime it wants. For example, aquaporin. So aquaporin, so here is aquaporin. It's an example of open channel. So an aquaporin allows water molecules to enter and exit cell anytime it wants without regulation. This allows the cell and the extracellular environment to be at osmotic equilibrium. Next we have gated channel. Gated channel is like an open channel, but it's regulated. It is controlled by chemical, voltage, or mechanical pressure. So cell tells the transporter when it doesn't need the molecule to shut it close. So for example, in here, molecule enters freely when the gate is open. However, when cell does not need the molecule, it asks the transporter to shut them close so that molecule doesn't enter through the transporter. Or if it doesn't want the molecule to leave, we'll shut it close. So molecules cannot enter the closed gates. So the gated channels are highly regulated. Next we have carrier protein. Carrier protein changes transformation to allow molecules to enter and exit the cell. So a carrier protein can be uniport carrier, which means it only takes one molecule to enter or exit the cell. Or we have cotransporters. So cotransporter we have symport carrier. Symport carrier takes in two molecules but take them in similar directions. So if it's entering the cell, both of them are entering the cell. If they're exiting the cell, both of them are exiting the cell. In contrast, antipode carrier takes in one molecule and emits another molecule out of the cell. So these are the means by which passive transport are carried.